Okay, so let's say I'm going to pick problem 13. So this is 13 on page 120. And that is 16 equals 3 quantity x minus 1 minus quantity x minus 7. Can everyone see this? Is it okay, everyone? Okay, since you're not saying anything, I'm assuming we're fine. So how do I know this is a linear equation? It's because the powers of the variable, all x has power 1. And there are no divisions by the variable, no products. That's pretty much, these are the conditions. So only one variable and power 1 for the variable. So 16, I will distribute 3x minus 3 and minus x and plus 7. Always stop if you have questions, okay? So first, I always am concerned about the variable, not the numbers. So since the variable is on this side, I normally prefer it on the left. It doesn't matter. I focus on 3 minus x, which is 2x. Then I have negative 3 plus 7, which will be positive 4. And I have to move 16 to the other side. When I move a term from one side to the other, the only thing that changes is the sign. So then 16, but minus 4. So that's 12 equals 2x. I prefer 2x equals 12. That's the correct sequence. Of course, I will have to divide by 2, and I get x equals 6. It turns out, again, that this is a conditional equation, linear equation, that has only one solution. And we are done with linear equations, and I hope everything is clear so far when it comes to linear equations. Anything that you have for me here? If not, we'll move on to rational. Okay. Rational equations. I'm going to pick a rational equation from here. Let's say, I don't know, 49 on page 120. Let's copy it. 1 over x minus 4 minus 5 over x plus 2 equals 6 over x squared minus 2x minus 8. Let's take a moment and copy this. Okay, so this is the method that I recommend. I accept other methods. They're fine. If you're comfortable with a different method, and you consider this one more difficult, forget about this one and use your own. But this is the method I highly recommend. First of all, I look at this polynomial. It's a trinomial. And I know I have to factor it. I will review factoring with you today. So for now, just bear with me. And if anyone can give us the factored form of x squared minus 2x minus 8 at this point, and then we will go through everything from scratch with factoring. But can anyone factor this out for us at this point before reviewing factoring? Anyone?
X minus 4 and x plus 2.
Excellent. Normally, when in an equation like this, you should always look at the other factors in the denominator, right? So it is highly likely that that's what we are going to get. Not always, but it's an indication. Okay. So then the equation becomes 1 over x minus 4 minus 5 over x plus 2 equals 6 over x minus 4 times x plus 2. And here is a question for you. A side question. if I want to divide 0 by 5, for example, what do I get? Before you answer, I have $0 and I choose 5 of you to share my 0 with. How much will you get from my 0? I want to divvy up my 0 into 5. Of course. Be careful now. I want to divide 5 by 0. The answer cannot be the same, so please do not say 0. 0 over 5 cannot be the same with 5 over 0. That's established. But go ahead.
1.
Careful. If I say that this is 1, then how much is 5 over 1? 5. How much is 5 over 5? 1. So 5 over 5 and 5 over 0 cannot be the same. Is that clear so far?
Yes.
Good. So anyone remembers division by 0, and we have to write it down in capital letters. Division by 0 is, anyone remembers?
Undefined.
Thank you very much. This is a fancy word. What it really means is it does not exist, or there is no answer, or there is no number, there is nothing. 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 Does not exist. Undefined. So please remember, when you try to divide by 0, you will not get anything. Not 0. Nothing. Not possible. It does not exist ever. So this was a little discussion because I'm going to write something very important for this. So I'm going to copy the equation because I'm already on the next page and I don't want to go back to this one. So I'm on page 2 already. So I'm going to copy. You don't have to copy it unless you need to. And now I'm going to ask you, for this fraction, what is the value of x that will make it undefined, that will never accept? What is the value of x, and how do I get it? There is, I'm sorry? 0 minus 4 is not 0.
I was about to say 4.
Exactly. So, based on this condition, we will never accept 0 in the denominator, ever. So I will say that x minus 4 could never be 0. When I move 4 to the other side, I get this. What is the condition for this fraction to exist and not be undefined?
-2.
Excellent. So x cannot equal -2. So before I even start the equation, trying to solve it, I will write restrictions on x. Restrictions on x. X is restricted. It cannot be free. It cannot be -2, and it cannot be 4. And this has to be established from the get-go. My next step is I will move this term to the other side. I can move terms anywhere I want. So 1 over x minus 4 minus 5 over x plus 2 minus 6 over x minus 4 x plus 2 equals. What is left on this side? All equations have to have two sides, one side and the other. The left-hand side, the equal symbol, and the right-hand side. What is left here? Absolutely. If I forget this, I will not solve. I will just combine like terms or simplify, but I will not solve if I forget about the other side. Perfect. In the next step, I have to find the least common denominator. And look what I do. Again, I'm not advocated for my method, only if you find it easier than your own. Good, so I don't want to forget the equal symbol and 0. Now, can anyone give us the least common denominator? The least common denominator is?
X minus 4 and X plus 2.
Of course, the product of these two factors written only once. In the next step, I'm asking myself, x minus 4 was multiplied by x plus 2. X minus 4 is the same, but all of a sudden I multiply the denominator by x plus 2. I have to multiply the numerator by x plus 2 as well. This is just a reminder telling me you multiply the denominator by x plus 2, you have to multiply the numerator by x plus 2. The same question I have for x plus 2. X plus 2 is the same, but I multiply the denominator by x minus 4. I have to multiply the numerator by x minus 4. Here there is no change. If you want to write 1, fine. If you don't have to write anything. Now at the top, I have to distribute 1 to these two, negative 5 to these two, and negative 6 times 1. So 1 multiplied by x plus 2, negative 5 multiplied by x, negative 5 multiplied by negative 4, and negative 6 multiplied by 1. At this point, I combine like terms. X minus 5x, negative 4x. Two plus 20 is 22. 22 minus 6 is positive 16. And everything divided by x minus 4 times x plus 2 equals 0, or 0 over 1. I want to show two different options here. One option will be that this is a proportion. Only in a proportion we are allowed to cross multiply. This times 1 is negative 4x plus 16 equals this times 0. So negative 4x plus 16 times 1 must equal this times 0, which is 0. So the negative 4x equals negative 16 because now this is a linear equation. I divide both sides by 4 and I say, I got the solution. And you would say, not so fast. And you will tell me you worked very hard to state your restrictions from the very beginning, knowing that you will never accept negative 2 and 4. So I will say, oops, no solutions. Here's a second option for this final form of negative 4x plus 16 divided by x minus 4, x plus 2 equals 0. We know that only 0 over a number, not 0, we just looked at a few minutes ago. Only 0 over a non-zero number is 0, which means, how can this be 0? Only if the numerator is 0. And of course I get the same answer. You can say this is easier to think in terms of a fraction is 0 when the numerator is 0. I completely agree. However, this is also a very important idea that says only in a proportion I am allowed to cross multiply. And why did I write 0 over 1? Just to show that this is a proportion. Anything can be written over 1 with no mistake and no change. So I wrote 0 over 1 just to explain or show that this is indeed a proportion. Any questions on the method? Anything, if you have any questions for me? If not, let's go back to our quiz and finish up this problem in the quiz. So we can submit the quiz. So this was second problem in the quiz. Now, I don't remember who asked questions. You don't have to say anything, but in general, is this clear to everyone? Okay, so let's take a moment and work on the quiz. 3 minutes.